Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hello everyone.
Welcome. So, welcome to yet another masterclass. And today, let's talk about, leaders. I think it's a very common term, which I think when you're in a corporate setup or when you are even in the head of a family, anywhere you can talk about of a leader. We always have a thought process that leader knows it all. Leader has all the answers. Leader is supposed to have all the answers. Only such belief systems have created bosses of leaders who get very comfortable, in using the control and then, using that command or method of command to get the work done. But in this today's continuously fast changing world and the new technology which is showing up every day, it's not that the leader has all the answers. In fact, it is a leader who has actually the ability to get the right answers from the team and then drive the team towards the right direction. So there's a fundamental shift which has happened in the role of a leader from a manager to a coach. And especially in our session today of co creating transformation with Innermost Shift Coaching, along with my partner, we'll be discussing the coaching skills for leaders. So, my name is Siri Prakash Kaur Khalsa, Siri short. And with me, I have Mr. Sat Khalsa. We both are MCC coaches, and together we are the co founders and directors of Innermost Shift Coaching. We coach people to achieve the best in their life. Not what they want is the best, but actually the best in their life. And we have proudly trained more than 500 coaches on the path of ICF, ACC, PCC, and MCC. And our model Innermost Shift Coaching is actually an amalgamation of the ICF core competencies, the NLP techniques in its purest form, and yoga somatic science, and many other tools which we have included in the whole model. A model actually which has evolved with a great research, experience, and our commitment to give our best to our participants. So, sir, let me ask you this question today. In today's day and age, what is really important about leaders having a coaching skills? So, what do you have to say about this?
I think that's a good beginning question, and I love it. Um, can you imagine a high performance athlete without being professionally coached at every step? And it could be any team. It could be swimming team, cricket team. It could be a hockey team. It could be volleyball team. Doesn't matter. Irrespective of any team, there are professional coaches who are accompanying and grooming the team members, and they are from within the team, within the framework of that body. Now, a leader in any capacity is most of the time available to their people. So, imagining that if a leader doesn't have such a wonderful coaching skills that uplift, inspires, and empower the people to deliver result, it's beyond imagination. So, any leader has to have such a profound style of coaching, such a profound style of um, approach integrated in their communication, integrated in interaction. And I can say that they must have a powerful ability to display interactional excellence so that they can create a bit of excellence with every interaction they have. Now, this is the reason that the it's become essential today, apart from a body of coaches that can be hired from outside. If a leader doesn't appreciate and display this approach in their interactional style, in their grooming style, in their getting the work done style, then any manager or any person would start differentiate too much, that I think my leader, my boss, is not that good a communicator, that good a leader, as good a coach is, as good a person who come from the outside is. So there is a danger of losing trust. There is a danger of a leader being undermined for their capacity, and this is the reason that a coach must show up in a leader, in their attitude, and coaching help leaders to build confidence in themselves, confidence in their team, bring up their creativity, unite them, help them to build a lot of internal resources, change their own belief system. What not is possible, which requires today. So a leader without coach is just like, I would say that, flesh without muscles. So we don't want to sag the organic body without having leaders to be the coaching approach, building their leadership style, or as coaches even. That's what I have to say. That's my answer. Mm.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's very great. So someone here is asking a question that at the core of it, what is the coaching leadership style? So let me answer this. As you see, what is coaching leadership style? The name has it. When we are talking of coaching is actually, even if you see as a part of the ICF competencies, and ICF clearly mentions coaching is like a partnering process. And just think about it, a leader at the top level, a leadership style of partnering with the people in the team, what they have. So, when we are talking of leader and as a coaching leadership style, it's not about what the leader has to contribute or leader has to tell people what to do. Rather, I think it's about when you have a coaching leadership style, it's about understanding that what is the contribution of each people and also telling them that how they are, forming a part of the larger goal of the organization. So I believe as a coaching leadership style, one has to really invest time and in the team members, helping them to understand and develop their talents and let them come out as a coaching intervention, as a coaching leadership style, that what is the talent that they possess. In fact, it is no longer that benevolent form, of sharing what leader knows with the team members or as a senior, what you're telling your juniors in the team. Rather, it is about actually sharing and putting your time in it so that making them understand and realize that the kind of potential they possess. In fact, the Herminia Ibarra and the Annie Sokler in the Harvard Business Review also said it is also a way of asking questions as to spark insights in the other person. Very beautifully said. The coaching, we know it's about asking right questions. And believe it, if your leadership style is a coaching leadership style and you start asking the right questions to the people, it also kind of, evokes that kind of part of the brain which helps them to work and dig deeper inside them and find out the answers to certain issues or whatever is, required at the top level in the organization. So I believe the coaching leadership style is about more about being open, and it takes a lot of courage and grit, to be having a coaching leadership style, because you have to be much more open to the people to receive their answers and also rather work on yourself to be more resilient and create that kind of a impact that yes, you're a leader who's taking ahead, who is there at the right in front of the march, but yet taking the team along as they all march together along with you. So that's what I have to say.
Seriously, as you're asking that, coaching is about asking right question, and somebody that I think coaching us at the moment has asked a very right question here. Thanks for asking this question. Um, Someone asking that, what are the benefits of leaders adopting and the coaching style of leadership? Well, I, I think leadership coaching is an excellent way to support the individual's development and with a benefit that extends throughout the organization. Let's say, for example, if you want to improve the company's culture, the coaching can help business leaders to reinforce that positivity in their behavior and align their behaviors in alignment with the values of the organization, and the whole network and the fabric of the culture can be built up just by leader is having a right focus and right question, right listening, and on the spot response to the arising problems. So it can change the entire culture of the organization.
Mhm.
This is the great benefit. Next thing is that who doesn't want the team performance to be enhanced? So coaching can help to improve the performance, sales, even recruitment, even retaining of the employees, and productivity, efficiency, stress level. What cannot it do? Think that if you can increase the employee retention just by giving a heartfelt listening, that any leader as a coach gets fully trained into and listens at all level of existence. all level of the person is coming from, what is being said, what is not being said, and what is what is being held back and can be made a person to be said or express. It can also replace the performance appraisal with a good feedback system, and you can continuously help and groom employees. So there is not a single benefit. You talk about anything that you expect from a leader, adopting this good coaching mindset, and then continuously developing that mindset, not stopping at single point of time. Then having good skills to connect with people, having good way of uh, listening and then questioning, giving proper pauses at the right time, making other person feel that heard, feel that yes, I have been able to say what I wanted to say, and then I have been responded well, helping people to come out with definite ways of the way interaction ends, and whichever interaction happen at the end you change into a actionable steps, and no matter it's a 2 minute conversation or 20-minute conversation, or it's a formal setup of coaching a leader has adopted. So think that numerous benefits, what all we don't need. Then today is a time that diversity, people of different culture, background, experiences, not only this much, even from different location, they are the part of the bigger network of the organization. And how can their intention, their behavior can be understood and not misinterpreted? How the mind reading, how the assumptions, which is called bad politicking, that can be avoided, and people can be connected from the heart. What all benefits you need more than this? That a leader become capable to hold the network of all employees together and meeting the organizational objectives, meeting the individuals' objectives, feeling everyone respected, feeling everyone engaged, feeling everyone part of the organization.
Mm.
There are numerous benefits. So thank you for asking the right question, I believe. So that's how the benefits are. Hmm?
Hmm.
Do you see any
So
question coming, Siri?
yeah, so I think there's another one. Somebody is asking that what does it mean for a leader to have a coaching mindset? Okay, I think that's a very beautiful question, because when you're talking of a mindset, it's about internally in your mind, when we talk about that. How do you carry that coaching mindset? So for me, I think talking of, we've been training so many people as coaches, and there are a lot of experiences people do share. When you talk of a coaching mindset, I think the first part which comes as being an open, having an open mindset, because when you're talking about coaching, you're letting the others also to equally evolve at a level that you do not stop them, and rather use their minds to be more creative. And let's talk about when there's some company who's taking up a project, then what a leader having a coaching mindset can really create in that team. It can be more of collectiveness, it can be more of giving that importance to each individual with the kind of role that they are playing. And also the whole result is about collectively achieving the result what you're looking for. So anything when we are talking of coaching mindset, it's about, especially leader having a coaching mindset, it's also about sacrificing, I think the very cliche term, but a part of your ego has to be letting in go when you're talking of having a coaching mindset. You have to be very open. You have to let others give their ideas. And obviously, you have to also be prepared. It's not that you don't prepare yourself and you don't share your ideas with them. So I think it's about, creating your own mind, turning around inside and seeing that where you're coming from. Are you coming from openness? Or are you coming only from your power and ego? Or are you coming for the team to enhance their own productivity so that it leads to the whole growth of the organization? And believe it, it's about actually the mindset. And I think when we talk of the coaching mindset as a leader, it also reminds me of one of the international head HR whom I had a conversation with, and he said he used the Walt Disney strategy to dream, to plan, and create the clear goals and the action steps. And he used it with many of his team members so that they can actually produce an amazing result in a particular project they had taken it over. So, and also it resulted in, he was talking about that it made him realize that he had to change certain policies and certain systems so that it can be supported in that particular project when the team was really moving ahead. So I think that's having a good coaching mindset. When you're ready to be more adaptable, when you're ready to be more flexible, when you're ready to, open all your windows of your mind so that to see when we have a collective, the result or the outcome to be achieved as the growth of the organization. And as a result, people also do grow in about it. And when leaders have that kind of a mindset, it also enables the people to be more engaged. It enables them to work with the heart because they know that they are going to be recognized. They know that whatever they are going to be talking about is going to be a part of an team effort where each one will be given that kind of a privilege to share their ideas. And I believe if you can create that as a leader and you can create a coaching mindset, I think you can really create that transformation within yourself and within the organization as such. And especially when we talk about our model, which is about transformation and creating that shift in the deeper level, it is something I think which is very, very superb. I was, in fact, it reminds me of one of our coaches. He was coaching one of the top person, and he came back to me and said, Siri, it has really helped this person, to change himself. And he says when he started coaching him, this leader, he was very rigid in himself with his own fixed ideas. But slowly, when he started using these coaching skills, and he says he became so open, and he was rated as one of the best performers because he could create a coaching mindset as a leader. And he says every team member vouches for him that he is one of the best leaders they have in the organization. So I think it speaks a lot because mindset is not a small word. So even if you think, in your own families, being a leader, if you are, what is a coaching mindset? It's about being open. It's about respecting each other. It's about allowing their potential to grow and empowering them so that you have great harmony, you have great flexibility, you have good relationship, you have openness, yet you are maintaining your own boundaries. You do not go out of that boundaries, so that is definitely maintained in it. So I think that's what I have to say about creating a coaching mindset.
Um,
So we
See,
have
I
another
see
question.
even, yeah, yeah. So let me read this out because it's
Okay.
especially targeting at me. It says that, Sat sir, I think you believe that somebody from our group who knows us may be asking that can you share some examples of benefit experienced by some leader who adopted the coaching style of leadership? Yeah, sure. Let me share another international HR head. After learning the coaching skills, he found that he learned shifting perspective, and this was amazing for that person. And it was used by him so often that if anybody is walking to this person with a problem, he would ask, is it a problem or pattern you are having, or is it some problem you're having someone? So if he would talk about that he's having a problem with someone, he will say, all right, so don't share the name of the person and also don't share the problem that you have it. So let's begin to experiment something. And you would make this person undergo a very powerful framework of shifting perspective and make him understand the his side of or her side of story and say, all right, now you have done enough about your part. And with a specific framework that they learn in the program, he used some special anchors and created the um, like position from where the heart and the mind of the other person is thinking about this person, and would help him, use some we call as organ language, which I can't share in a small way. So using that kind of language, he made the person fully engaged in the heart and mind of the other person. And then he would help him to take some higher perspectives and ask him that, what's your answer now? And this would enlighten and bring the person what he can change or she can change in his or her approach towards this person. And he would ask that, have you found some answers there? Person would say, yeah. He said, all right, just go and design a good plan around it and make some action steps. And if it still doesn't solve, we'll sit for the next round. Now, slowly, the great impact happened. The entire team began to know in the next 6 7 months that if you walk to this person, he doesn't ask, whom are you talking about? What's the issue you have with some person? And what has made you come to me about that person? And he will quote the person right before and not the problem. This made a good word about this HR head, and it evolved a different culture, different respect, different perception. That's the one example I remember. And also remember one person that he would often observe is a good leader, and in the meetings he would find that many people lose their patience, and upon asking a question, they don't like it, they feel unrestful, and they get provoked. And this is where a lot of resilience building was required. And he would invite them that I found you today that you kind of sounded upset, and I'm sure that this is not you, and it was something in your mind surfacing up. And think that how beautifully this person would separate the problem from the person, and will make very comfortable the person before him or her, and help to find different ways to become more stronger and more tolerant in the meetings. And he improved the team meetings, team productivity, right? So during the meetings only, and specifically targeted the meetings. So these are the two cases I right now remember, but there are several other cases, when people always send someone to the workshop as a reference, and they share that what impact the other person has made in the organization has made me walk to you. And another thing I also want to share with you, something very, very strange that I even got amazed by, was that one person walked to the workshop from an organization being nominated by the organization for the purpose of that he want to heal his back injury. I said, this workshop is not about healing. He said, sir, let me share with you. My colleague who came last time, he had a um, back injury, and he was about to be operated. And during the workshop itself, and when he went back, the more he kept on coaching people, he felt more lighter within himself as his own baggage is dropping, as his own presence is increasing. And this, in fact, made this person to heal his back without getting operated. So it was amazing for me to share. We all carry a baggage, and a leader, when become capable to help people drop their baggage, in the process he or she also drops her baggage. So this was an amazing insight for me as well, because our ICF says healing that coaching is not a therapy, and I would definitely vouch for that. Yet I would say coaching is a very soothing, transformational, and healing process, and it brings the faculties of rejuvenation, health, and your originality to surface, and everything at the surface to wash away. So definitely, I would call that any transformational healing, any transformational coaching is a healing process by itself. So sometimes people ask me, "Hey, is it healing?" I said, yes, definitely. When you are heard well, you get healed. So isn't it? So I don't shy at least telling people that when you create a space for coaching, you create a space for healing the wounds, healing the injuries, healing the disease, healing the discomfort. So these are some examples I have. I think
I think, in
you can
fact,
show
it
them.
happened. It happened, in I think when the COVID just started, or I think somewhere last year, we had one of the persons. She was heading the finance for one of the organizations, and she was undergoing the process. So I don't know if you remember that. And that lady was having COVID, and she had fever, and she was sitting with the medicine. And by the end of the day, we were asking her how is she feeling. She said, "Siri, I'm feeling absolutely fine. I don't have to take the medicine again, and I think the fever has gone." And after attending the workshop, she underwent. I think it was, you're very correct, because when you are being heard, and when the You're being there's somebody who's there to listen to you, being open to listen to you. I think quite a healing happens to you. So maybe an indirect way of coaching results in that. Very, very appreciative. So there's one somebody, okay, Tarun is asking a question. He says, don't we need coaching mindset at each level in an organization, not just at the top level? For example, developing an ecosystem where everyone is coaching each other, including reverse coaching, where a junior might be coaching a senior for some skill. I think very, very correctly said, when you're introducing a coaching culture, coaching is required at every step. And if the culture is very open, people are very open, then obviously reverse coaching does help, because you are coaching is about, I would not say it's about the skill, because skills you need a training, but when you're talking about coaching, it's about having that, creating a mindset where if a junior is capable, is has learned how to coach properly, if you are really trained as a coach, then you can go back and coach the upper level itself, because you develop that instinct, you develop that resilience, you develop that flexibility. And the moment you go on to coach even a senior person, they see that the whole capabilities and those resources in you, and people are ready for it. And this reminds me of one of the example, so I'm going to come back to the next question which is coming up. But this boy, I think when we were doing a live program before the COVID started, there was this lady, she came in from Dubai. She finished her MBA HR, very young girl, and she came in to do the program. And after doing the program, she says, Siri ma'am, I have to coach my very close family friends, because something was going on and they did not want to happen, that a split should happen between them. And then of course we talked together, and she says, let me start from the uncle, whom she called uncle and aunt. And being such a young girl, they accepted her as a coach, and she really coached them, and the family was all together, and she was one of the happiest persons. She said, this is my reward back, what I have learned from you people. It's something very, very amazing. You're very correct, because when you develop yourself as a coach, you're developing those qualities which inherently would start showing up. Okay, thanks for asking that, Tarun. So we have another one. Somebody's asking that, with multiple benefits of embracing the coaching style of leadership, what makes leaders hesitant to adopt this style? I think very, very correct answer. Very, very correct question. Sorry, in terms of when you're talking of in a corporate world or in any scenario, what is that is making a leader hesitant to adopt this style? One which comes to my mind is, because when you're at the top, when you do something at the top level, people expect the results to be very instant. And coaching is something which can bring results not instantly, but it creates a ground, it creates an environment for people to perform better. So it takes some time to achieve those results. So I think probably that could be one of the factors. Like Jackson took over as Bulls head coach in 1989, but the first championship win didn't come until 1991. Imagine the time.
Very
And
right,
in those
very right.
times, there's a lot of, the environment of also, questioning that, is the person doing right? What is the person doing at the top level? So probably I think that, I would say, kind of maybe a little fear that if I'm adopting this style, or if I adopt this style, will people not take me for granted? Or it could be something like, will I be questioned, because this is going to take some time. And believe it, when you're adopting a style as coaching style in a leadership, and as Sarun said, it could be done at all the levels. And I really, really, really believe if any organization can develop this culture at all the levels, it could be one of the best organizations in the world. But yes, it is going to take some time, and it takes a lot of commitment from each employee. And as you introduce a culture from top down, anywhere in the middle and anywhere you're doing it, because it actually takes a lot of time for them to develop that trust. It takes a time, that trust in the leader, trust in the whole system, trust that this culture, what we are getting into as a coaching culture, is definitely going to yield results. As sir rightly said in the beginning, any team in sports does not go forward without a coach. So just think about it. If a leader has a coaching style, and if a leader develops this and removes that hesitant part within him, it can take your organization leaps and bounds forward. And also, let me just talk about recently one of our trained coaches. She's got inroads with the Amazon, and she swears by the guru state, what we are talking of, which has actually helped the leaders to turn to their own potential and possibilities, and really dropping the limitation and influence. I would just like to add here, when we talk about a guru state or a supreme state of excellence, I think it's about, as a leader, when you are turning a person, when you are being coached, or leader develop himself or herself as a coach, the first part is getting in touch with your own true self, which we call it as your inherent place of knowingness, from the place where you have taken your answers, which are very, very right, from where you know that you have all the potentials and the possibilities does exist. So if you get in touch with that, that empowers you to be that courageous and confident to take this route of coaching in any organization and develop your own mindset and develop yourself as a coaching, as a coaching leadership style. And because if you're coming from that space, one, you're creating a huge environment of trust, you're creating a huge environment of people growing up. Also, as a leader, as a coach, the focus for the whole organization also turns towards the vision of the organization. So that also plays a big impact, because when you're doing that, you're actually helping them to come together as a team. And one of the top leaders, it reminds me also of, one of the top leaders of healthcare company, he shared with me that it has actually helped him to create a vision of the different respective departments, and each department has taken, actually, in fact, he has coached them internally, and they have, kind of created a vision and kind of dropped the people who were not required, with the most, I would say, respect to them, so that they understand that where the organization wants and how they are a fit or they are not required in the organization, though it has taken them a lot of time. But actually, it has helped them to develop that kind of environment and place where people also have understood that what is really required in this organization. And one of the customer support he was talking to me has also helped them to understand and develop that patient listening, which is really required because it's a healthcare industry. So patience listening and patient listening both has happened to him, which is actually aligned with the goals, in investing them, so that they understand that as a leader in that particular environment, in that particular department, actually it's about moving to the next level and letting the organization go also to the next level. And it has developed a very wonderful team for him, and everybody is very coherent. And this gentleman is actually himself, being a leader, is very, very open. And he was also telling me that he's also done a 360-degree feedback. So I said, how did you do it? Because you being at the top level, and what about if somebody comes and tells you, this is not worth it or that is not done? So he shared with me, Siri, he says, I was very hesitant in the beginning when I talked and thought about it. But he says, I kept my ego aside and I got inside my own guru state and connected to that place from where I know that I am much more expanded. I have all the resources within me, and there's nothing which can overtake this whole, leadership quality which I possess. So it has actually helped him to build that kind of environment and people, and the company has really turned around. He was talking about that it has grown into profits. So I think this is something which each one of us as a leader has to understand. Somewhere we have to lower our power center, somewhere we have to lower our egos and allow the other people also to come up, though maintaining your position. I'm not saying you don't have to, you have to maintain your position, you have to, kind of be there, because you're responsible for the profits, for the stakeholders, for what you're producing. So everything is there on top of your head, I understand that. But I think definitely, the coaching style, the coaching mindset as a leader, I think it really speaks about a person as a lot. And it does take a lot of courage to be like that.
I think, yeah, that could be hindrance sometimes because when one changes the leadership style, it becomes sometime any change is always issue and people wait for that. So sometimes people take time to adopt this style. Okay, so
Mhm.
they want to go a faster, better way rather than longer and very best way. Okay, I think some person has put a very profound, well thought question here. It says that coaching has just come up maybe last 10, 15, maybe you can say 20 years. How about so many big companies, so many outstanding leaders without coaching has made such coherent teams, bigger organization? Uh, so did they also adopt some coaching style, or it's a need of this hour, this era? I think you have shaken me up totally to search my bank of answers. And here is what my pointer lands onto my way of knowing things. You know, I heard of a case that J.R.D. Tata, he was a pioneer in creating the steel industry in India, and they happened to install a very powerful um, steel furnace, and it was being commissioned, and the engineers rather team of engineers spent day and night in commissioning it, and J.R.D. Tata was to witness the inauguration. And the day this steel furnace was fired, please, I mean, I know something bits and pieces, so accurate data may not be there, but when it was ignited to fire, and before that, the engineer prepared all possible answers which Jerry Dada might ask, and he gathered all technical details to furnish to him. And when the this furnace was inaugurated, that very moment, he asked a question: how would such enormous heat this worker will withstand? What have you done for this? Isn't it a powerful coaching question?
Yes,
And it made the engineer think that this was never into his mind. Okay, and they were only recruiting the best of the operators who have more technical abilities, but they never thought this. And this triggered another thought, another way of looking at, the way they must equip the person with, design the system with. So they were natural leaders. I always tell people metaphorically, 0.0000001% are the people who can coach themselves, and they can coach others without getting these skills. And I would say human beings are always looked at the best of the outstanding people and help them to think that think that this way, this is the way these people had natural style of coaching. Okay, and they asked it. And another example that come to my mind is that I remember even someone asked me this: how come these Birlas and Tatas in India have a long withstanding, and span of the organization is so long? Many organizations died in this context and without being formal setup. And thereafter, many people shared. We went once to one of the Birla group, and the person shared with us that the way the eldermost Birla would very compassionately listen to them, ask them, and even help them to improve themselves just by asking good questions, oriented their mind towards total service. So these are the ways even outstanding people had the question, listening, compassion, and would check with them, what have you done, what we shared last time, until they have seen it. Another example that come to my mind is once I was in the boardroom of HP Nanda, the chairman founder of Escorts Group, and I heard that a lot of people are sharing that the way the workers or the employees of the organization are thinking more of their home, because their plant is quite away from the urban area, and it was far distance located in Faridabad. So rather than telling them that, okay, make them work better, think better, he asks, okay, so what can we do so that if their thoughts are going towards their family, what can you do so that their family is taken care in such a manner that they are going to think about family? It's a good coaching question. So people who have created profound organization, they have something profound in them, a total trust in humanity, a total trust in potential, a total trust in possibilities. They have created big things from the scratch. Okay, having migrated from Pakistan, landed with nothing here, he could create a massive unit in Faridabad. Not only he, I remember several other people, and they can self coach themselves, they can coach other people, engage their heart, engage their mind. And to my mind, it comes that even the age of people like Sunil Mittal, Ronak Singh, Rajananda, all this BK Modi, if they had, and Birla, Tatas, they had profound coaching style to inculcate values, to bring values in the organization without using this formal word. And my study shows that lots of the even foreign companies begin turning their head towards India for creating such a wonderful value system in the family hierarchy, right, in the family-led organization. So without having adopt such a powerful mindset in the in their own way in themselves, it's not possible. It's not possible that um, they can bring about such good battery of people, such good battery of teams, and massive adaptation of technology and giving the best of the industries to India. And today I heard from someone that India has come to the in the fifth rank of largest economy, right? And how it's possible if the backbone of India was not built on engaging people. So the very democratic setup, even in a nation, even in the organization, it's not possible without a leader has engaged people, and which is not possible that they have made them think beyond their influences, sufferings, and made them think fresh, new possibilities. And in fact, I would only bow my head to Indian culture, Indian way of bringing up the companies and the people where from we have modeled. Because when we learned NLP was modeling, giving a structure to the excellence and adopting that structure in different frameworks. And we have spent that a good amount of time in, bringing the good models, framework, tools. And I bow my head to the culture of India, the heritage of India, and the leaders of India. Though we studied things in fraud as well, but I give my due respect to the way we are the born rishis, researchers, and adopters of good models and percolating that model to every single person. So my answer is that every outstanding leader has, in some way or the other, some we have studied, some we haven't studied. So they have adopted a good coaching skill in their good uh, listening skill, good questioning skills, good turning the ideas into vision and vision into strategy into a good action steps. Okay, it's not possible without adopting this wonderful style of coaching. And when I even first time I heard and studied the entire model, I was amazed at everything that ICF is demanding. Indians are living. Indians are living it. They are not aware of. So after year-long and years-long journey into helping people to only learn NLP, it was 11 years. Then I found when even Siri, right, for me talking to leaders and leaders in turn bringing the magic and even the mystical changes also in their teams, it inspired me that, and that's the time I left doing coaching with the people. And I said, okay, how can I give a good shape to the entire model so that every leader can bring a good model, good structure. So it was years long work done by even Siri and the other colleagues and the people who in the industry actually did this change. So I remember even the digital group, I met and I found that how the head of the organization is in fact using that good coach approach to engage and involve people. So my answer is that no one and no outstanding person can be named as outstanding until they have adopted. And those who have not adopted, those companies vanished because of the stuck mindset, no matter how big they were, how large they were, how first they were. I won't name, but several companies vanished in moment. Okay, so if you company in the beginning took 2 years to vanish, later it took 1 year to vanish, just recently it took only 4 or 5 days to vanish. So it's a challenge and an opportunity both for every person that yes, to be an outstanding leader of old time or now time, these are essential skills of leadership which we have put or the ICF has given a good structure and a competency model. That's my answer. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's great. So we have another question from Tarun. He says some leaders are afraid to invest on coaching as they may have their own insecurities. I think it's about the insecurities are coming only from their own fears, because if you understand what is a coaching methodology, what is coaching all about, I think probably you will not have any fears. I remember meeting the head HR for Accenture long years back before COVID, I think even a few years back before that. She says, we have adopted the coaching culture in the organization, and that has helped them to retain people, and the people going out have reduced, because we are not looking at, it's about a culture, it's not about a person. So, when you're talking of a coaching mindset, as we talked earlier, and as a leadership style, one has to have the courage, very, very correct. And you have to understand what coaching culture is, what coaching means. Coaching is not losing your power, coaching is not letting go of your ego. You require that ego to go ahead in life. It's a positive ego, you need that. So, coaching is not about dropping all that. Coaching is about only creating an environment where people can be more open. So if something, I'm working with a gentleman or I'm working with somebody in the organization in a department, I'm not getting along. And then if you have a coaching structure, then probably you can be coached. And because that's, you're an asset to the organization, it has taken years to train you in that. Then probably you can put to a different department under a different person, and yet company can retain the talent and move ahead. So very, very correctly said. We have to, as a leader, first of all, you have to understand what coaching means, what it means as a concept, what it means. It's a partnering process. If I take a very simple example, about a mother. Now, mother being a leader, a trainer, a guide to the child. When the child is not performing well, she also has a right to give maybe a slap or scold or do whatever. She does not lose her being a mother. Rather, she's putting the person to the right perspective. If we convert this into a coaching culture and a coaching mindset, first, because the moment you're in touch with your own potential, you know that you're coming from a space of purity. Believe it, you will be not hesitant to create this culture in the organization. Because ultimately, when you're working in an organization, it is about what? It's about the growth, it's about the profitability, it's giving back to the stakeholders if it's a big organization, it's creating the whole, what you call, more than livability. It's about creating that whole thing, even for anybody working in the organization, so that you are able to go back and feed your family. And if you're not creating that culture, then we are always having the, either the power or tug of war, or it could be something where you're not using the right potential of the people, and people do leave, because when you're not letting them grow, when you're not letting them flower with their potential, you don't create a good organization. So I think that it's very important that you understand, as a leader, what does coaching really mean. You use your power. I always speak about, any game is a game when you're playing in a boundary. So if you're coaching people, you're not letting your strategies go, you're not letting your, the processes go, you're not letting your systems go, you're building that very profoundly, but only creating a culture and environment where people are much more open, and you're using their potential because you've hired them, you're paying them, so that you can create that growth and profitability in the organization, right? So let me
See,
just
let me ask you a
address
question
that.
here. Let me ask you a question because time is running out, and that
Mhm.
might be of helpful to people. That if one has to go about, embracing coaching style in his or her leadership, so how should one go about? Can you give some
I
pointer?
think
Very
the
quick
first,
point.
yeah, definitely. I think the first thing is, we should come out of the mindset of fix it. If some problem comes, okay, let's fix it. Because fix it is very, very temporary. If you are looking and embracing a coaching style, then it's about using people, their mindset, to create a solution. It might take a long to adopt, it might take a long to see the end result, but then that's going to be much more longer and effective and profound and sustaining in the organization. So first is this. Then also being concerned about your employees, very, very important when you're embracing a coaching style, that each person has a resource. They are being employed in the organization because they have the potential. So why not use that potential? Why not help them to grow and, kind of flower up? Then also listening to what they are saying, very very important. Listening means really listening. And when we're talking of coaching, especially a leadership style, I had one of the gentlemen who had come in from middle management, to attend the program, and he said that, Siri, we are trying to embark this journey of putting a coaching culture. And he says, I had seen a profound difference in one of my leaders out of all, where he had undergone a process of coaching. And he says somehow his whole shift has changed in listening. When I walk to his room, he's not waiting to tell me, but he's waiting, okay, to listen to me. And that actually shows up in your entire body when it talks about listening. So listening is very, very important. Then understanding also an individual's development goals, very important. When you're in an organization, people don't want to be stable where they are, they want to grow. So, what are their development goals? If you keep an eye on it and give them a room, give them that kind of freedom in the whole organization, in the whole strategic, in the whole business perspective, whatever you may call it as, then obviously it really talks about that you have a coaching culture, you have a coaching style, because you're allowing them to grow. And then one of the most important things as a coaching style, when we are talking of as a leadership, is taking the feedback. That's a big task, I believe it, really, that's really a big task. Because when you're doing that, believe it, you have to have the courage, that grit, that, I would say, like much more strong inside your own self. It's like, when you are centered in yourself, you, even if people are giving you feedback, you don't take it as criticism. You understand, this is somewhere, it's coming to me from the perspective of my professional life. It's not my, they're not hitting me as a person, they're only talking about my professional aspect. And if I'm going to take care of it, probably I can help to grow forward and take the team ahead as well. So taking the feedback from them in the way that it helps you to grow. And then also, as a leader, when you're embracing a coaching style, become aware what's happening. Maybe watch certain videos, maybe get trained, maybe do something about yourself, invest in yourself, spend some time, learn these core skills of coaching. Believe it, it's more than 30 years. I have talked to innumerable people in my life, starting from chairmen to public sector organizations, to CEOs of the organizations, to middle level managers. When they come for the courses, they become coaches to the at various level. It is something, when you're at the top level as a leader, you always say, I don't have time, because it's all about numbers, profitability, giving back, and handling crisis, whatever you may call it as. But I believe that is the best place for you to take your own time and learn coaching. Because when you're at top, if you're not attending a program, you're not undergoing a process, it is, you can mentor people well, that is definitely there, because that comes as a part of your growing up as a leader, because you have so much of an experience. You can counsel people, you can give them your mindset, you can give them your ideas. But when you are talking of coaching, you have to undergo a workshop or a training, or do something about it that gives you the whole structure and understanding of what coaching is all about. How beautiful the concept is, that it is enabling you, it is enabling people to develop that leadership style. And I can really vouch for it. I've seen many people who have developed this coaching style. They have been remembered ever so in the organization, that leader was one of the best leaders, because you build those qualities as a coach inside yourself. So I think
Okay.
that's
See,
what comes
some
to my mind.
Meena Naik is asking question. I have just moved out from a bank out, taken superannuation and moved out. I have received your brochure, but can you sum up in this, taking this opportunity and help me understand that as a coaching education provider, what are the essential coaching skills you teach to leaders? Mm, well, it's it's a huge list, but I can say the first and foremost thing that we make leaders to understand is how can they help their people to connect to their beingness, so that the shift in the being is the shift in the environment. So, is there a way how to drop influences and help people to come out with the best answers? So when they interact with them, otherwise they will answer from the influenced mind and not the core of themselves. Then, how to operate and start living from this state of excellence and formulate that kind of a good plan and bring these transitional and transformational changes at a pace in the different situation environment they expect them, helping them to help their people to evolve a vision around the ideas they get in the mind, crystallize into good goals. Then they get good skills to help their people to adapt to the different kind of relationship and mindset they have around that.
Mhm.
And then, you know, they can help their people to drop their stuck mindset. Stuck mindset is that you have some rules, personal rules to you live by, and they make a company successful. But if you don't drop those rules before the other people, break them, and they will innovate and take over. So there are many companies they died because they didn't change the rule. Okay, they kept on making things and the films they wanted using the same chemicals, and somebody took over by devising digital technology. Similarly, somebody did adopt the you kind of a uh, touch keypads. They thought, okay, mechanical keypads are the best one. So people have to drop the technical mindset, system mindset, process mindset, and this is only possible if a leader is a good coach, because leader get several opportunities to interact with the people, and if leader is not helping people break their rule and break their own rules, the company will be overruled by some people. Okay, then how to elicit values, align people with the purpose, with the organizational objective. Then time consciousness, like you put many calendar and reminders, still why time not be managed, because time is a consciousness. So we even educate leader that how they can bring time consciousness in them and other people, and good interactional excellence. There's a complete module on that. So that a leader can weave this entire coaching skill in their interaction. I don't call them conversation, because every interaction must end in some action to create excellence. So that's what I think. Time is showing up, finishing. I thank you very much to the audience for putting such good questions. Few of the people I could not name because I didn't find it appropriate. Few people we could name. It's okay for us, right? And I would say continue exploring this journey. Don't stop here. That how leaders can benefit from adopting this coaching style. Read more books, articles, books, and this will strengthen your own faith in adopting this good style. Take a good training from anywhere and bring this approach to deal with your children, family is suitable anywhere. That's what my last message to whole audience is. See, you have to say anything at the end, and we can close by,
Yes,
I
I
think.
think that's very, very beautifully said. So I think it's all about, yes, you have to just kind of, read or do a program or do something about it so that you understand and develop this mindset of a coaching culture, a coaching mindset in your mind, very, very important, whether you're heading a family or an organization or your own self. Because self coaching also really takes out a lot of stuck patterns of your life which we have been holding, and all of us have it. Nobody is yet perfect. At least I have not met anybody in this, at least in so many years, somebody who can say, look, I'm perfect, I don't have
Even
any
we have
issues.
it. We have it
People are
somewhere.
comfortable. People are comfortable with me all the way. Somewhere is having that kind of thing. So just do something about it, so that you open up your mind, and when you become that person, believe it, you will be living in every person's heart. It takes a lot of courage, so do that. And I think, thank you so much everybody for being with us. It's been a beautiful journey, and if you've not embarked on it, go ahead and embark on this journey to live a most beautiful life that you can, and also helping others to grow as well. So thank you so much for
Okay.
this.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Bye.
Khuda Hafiz. And stay calm, everyone.